Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a concept that honestly gets misunderstood all the time, and that is generating wealth without continuous active effort. We're going to unpack the actual mechanics of passive income, drawing on some really fascinating insights into how people are structuring their wealth right now. So we are going to look way past the usual internet hype and completely break down the tangible, real-world ways individuals are finally separating their time from their earning potential. Let's get into it.
So let me ask you a question. How many Americans do you think earn money even while they are literally fast asleep? We've all heard that classic phrase, right? Making money while you sleep. But according to the source material we're looking at today, this isn't just some elusive pipe dream reserved for the ultra-wealthy. No way. It's a very tangible reality that a surprisingly huge number of everyday people are participating in right now. The data reveals that this transition, moving from purely active labor to passive wealth generation, is a massive structural shift happening across normal, everyday households. Now, the absolute most reassuring insight from the data is that the journey begins simply. It's so incredibly easy to look at those highly successful individuals, the ones with multiple flowing revenue streams, and just assume they started with a massive trust fund or some heavily guarded financial secret. But actually, the reality is so much more accessible than that. You do not need to start at the finish line, and you definitely don't need a massive reserve of capital to get the ball rolling. The core mechanism here is completely accessible to you. You really just have to take that very first step.
And that step, it almost always starts with just one single income source. Way before anyone builds a sprawling, complicated, diversified portfolio of passive income, they just focus on establishing that first one. Why? Because that single mechanism proves to you that the system actually works. It's a total game changer. Once you get just one small asset generating revenue completely independently of your daily labor, that mental barrier is just shattered. From there, the compounding effect begins to take hold, and the momentum really starts to build organically.
Okay, so once that single source is established, your whole goal naturally shifts. Your focus completely moves from simply earning a traditional living to actively building assets that just keep paying out. It's a fundamental shift in how you view your daily output. So instead of merely hunting for that next immediate paycheck, you begin constructing a self-sustaining system. You are essentially building an asset engine, and that engine is designed to continuously generate returns regardless of whether you're actively sitting at a desk on any given Tuesday.
So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, the source outlines 4 distinct pathways people are using right now to build these engines. First up, there's the financial route, like investing in dividend stocks. This is where your capital actually goes to work to acquire more capital. Next is the physical route, think real estate, which provides that consistent, reliable monthly cash flow. Then we have the modern digital routes, which are fascinating. Creating digital products, for instance, which have essentially zero marginal cost to reproduce once you've made them. And finally, starting a YouTube channel, where a single piece of effort today can capture ad revenue for literally years down the line. These aren't just theories. These are highly practical, proven avenues being utilized every single day.
The ultimate takeaway here really comes down to a very simple contrast. Think about working 24 hours a day, which obviously is physically impossible, versus creating an income stream that just doesn't stop. The big secret isn't about grinding harder or sleeping less, not at all. It's about the transition from trading hours for dollars to building a system that remains completely independent of the clock. Passive income isn't about avoiding work, it's about front-loading your work. You put the effort in now so the eventual payout outlasts your direct active involvement.
And this leads us to a massive paradigm shift that the source summarizes just perfectly. It says, it's building income that doesn't stop when you stop working. Think about that. If your income halts the exact second you step away from your job, your earning potential is strictly, permanently capped by the 24 hours in a day. Removing that cap is the absolute ultimate form of financial leverage. It forces you to rethink the value of an hour of your time today, right now, against the potential of an asset that could pay you indefinitely.
So the source leaves us with a pretty provocative question to chew on, and I want you to really think about this. Are you only earning a paycheck, or are you actively building passive income? Every single day, you have a choice in where your energy goes. Are you exclusively trading your time for today's direct payout? Or are you dedicating at least a tiny fraction of that effort toward building an asset that will pay you tomorrow, next week, and for years to come? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, focused learners. I'll see you next time as we continue to unpack the mechanics behind the world's most interesting ideas.